Hey guys, so interesting thing. I just wanted to share this real quick with you. So I'm reinstalling OS X on this old Mac Mini. I think this is a 2010, 2012. I forget which Mac Mini. I bought it off eBay some years ago. And I installed Linux on it, and I've been using it to test out, working with virtual machines and all sorts of other stuff. But yeah, it was running Linux. I completely wiped out Mac OS. And I actually booted it up, and I was basically troubleshooting installing Harvester on this, because I wanted to get it running on this one. I just keep installing and reinstalling things, and just to test things out. It's basically a test box for me, but I was having trouble getting it to boot after installing Harvester, and so the OS had no Mac OS on it, and it wasn't detecting the disk, so I let it sit there for a while, and eventually it started booting off the network. Basically, the restore software in the UEFI firmware, or UEFI firmware, basically was able to connect to the network without me configuring the network. No Wi-Fi configured. It was able to connect. I guess it found an open access point. It was able to connect to Wi-Fi. It was able to reach the internet, and it's able to actually run the OS X installer, and it is now installing OS X Mavericks by downloading it and installing it. So we're going to see if this works out, but it looks like, without having anything on the disk, I actually completely wiped the disk multiple times over. But apparently it has enough in the firmware to be able to, just booting into the firmware utility, it's able to go up, connect to Apple, and pull down an old version of OS X, but it's still able to access OS X Mavericks, and which I assume is the latest version that can run on this on a Mac Mini this old. And it's so I'm pulling down OS X Mavericks and installing it off the internet, which is pretty neat. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. I did not know these were capable of doing this, and yeah, it's an interesting thing. So I'm going to see how it works. Looks like it's just finishing up right now and booting up. So I'm going to go over here now. This is the Mac Mini here, sitting on top of a couple other PCs that I happen to have. And yeah, it's this guy right here. So I unplugged my PC and I plugged it in just so I could install Harvester in the server software. And then after it's installed, I'd unplug it, throw it in a network closet. But yeah, so it's sitting up here for now. And yeah, decided to start installing Mac OS by itself, which was pretty neat. So I'm going to see how that works. And yeah, looks like it's trying to boot up right now. I don't know if I should keep this recording. Okay, so I actually cut away there a little bit while it was rebooting, and when it rebooted, it came up into this. So it looks like this is the actual install, and the firmware utility just downloaded the files needed for OS X. And actually, before that firmware utility was able to run, it gave me the option to run it, which I was surprised about. And what I did was I opened it. It failed the first time. I thought that was really interesting. I wanted to try and see if it would work. I opened the disk utility and basically told it to erase the disk and put a new partition on there. Once I did that, I closed the disk utility, which is basically running from firmware, as I understand it. And I was able to then run this installer. It downloaded all the files from the network, basically offline from Apple, and then it rebooted, and now it's actually doing the installation of OS X. So I'm going to cut away once again, and once this is done, or once I get to the next step, I'm gonna cut the video back right there. And here we are. It finished the installation, it rebooted, and here we can actually go through the setup steps. So I'm going to cut away again, skip past this, and show you once I'm logged in. All right, so here we go. It's installed. So it's this is pretty old. It's been a while since I've seen these 3D icons like this in macOS. Does run nice and smoothly, like that's some nice smooth animation there. But it has all these old apps on it, or old versions of the same apps. It's been a long time since Notepad the Notes app looked like that. Click on Launchpad, you get Mission Control and Dashboard. So you get the old-fashioned dashboard where I miss this a lot, where it gives you this nice feature here. And you go over here, you got your mission control, almost not too different from how it is in modern times. But there you go, it's working. I was able to log into iCloud, but I can't access a lot of the stuff. Some things are just not available and not working completely. And it's far from perfect. It's not going to have the latest security updates and stuff, but it's kind of neat that it is working. And I was actually mistaken. I did plug a network cable in there, so it's not like it somehow got access to Wi-Fi, even though it was asking for wireless access points. I did plug in that network cable, so I misspoke when I said I hadn't connected it to the network. So it had a network cable, and it eventually found it eventually, opened up that recovery utility and gave me the option to download, the new to re-download and restore macOS, which I tried and it worked. So here we go. Went from a Mac with no OS on it, or basically a wiped out hard disk, to something running an OS. So we got a working OS here. It's ancient, but look at that. That came up. Safari came up nice and quick. Got this whole, see this ancient looking theme. Looks pretty nice, but it looks really dated too. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing to see all this old stuff. And that's about it. Anyways, if you found this interesting, as always, remember to hit that subscribe button. That's about it for today. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on that next video.